going back here, I mean, when you got traded to the Vernon Vipers, it definitely did slow you down. It looks like you had over 50 goals and 105 points. It's funny. Other than your first year, how you ripped it up, we kind of had similar kind of junior experiences. My 17-year-old I entered in. I didn't play much at all for Surrey Eagles, but you had ripped it up with the salsa, and we were both 50 goal scorers. So it's pretty neat to have you on the podcast for sure to share that stuff. So maybe some of the kids may have some questions about being hot. What's that feel like as a junior hockey player when I think you may agree with me on this, but I feel like a lot of us think we know everything at that.
Yeah.
We know everything. We think we know what it takes to, I don't know, to be a superstar in that league and then to get to the next level. But maybe you can share.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like I said it earlier, I think I said the difference between scoring 20 goals and 50 goals isn't skill. It's confidence. It's what you think, right? It's that inside voice, believing that when you let this puck go, it's going to go. And, I honestly think it leaves your stick and goes exactly where you said where you want it to go, according to your confidence. If you're a little bit hesitant or you have that belief that you're not going to score because you're cold, that's the difference, right? And like you said, it didn't slow me down when I went to Vernon. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have. Nothing would have, because I was so confident and so ready to be that player that the expectation was there in myself, the will, the belief. When I went on that breakaway, I knew it was going to go in the net. And if it didn't, I would conjure something up in my head. I was so confident that you'd put something into your head that would say, yeah, goalie just got lucky there.
Yep.
But someone who was cold would be like, oh, I can't score. I can never score. So like, it's totally like a different thing. Yeah. Right. And I went after that 19-year-old year. I went to Saul Miller, a sports psychologist in Vancouver. He's, done lots of hockey stuff. And I remember, and I still use it to this day, is that you can't focus on the result. So if your result was 50 goals and all you thought about was scoring 50 goals, you'd never score 50 goals. If all you thought was, I want to get a college scholarship, I'm going to get a scholarship here, here, and here, you're never going to get that scholarship. What he was trying to get me to say was, what 5 things, if you do every single time in that game, 5 things that you do well, and then if you do those 5 things and only focus on those 5 things, if you do them, then you will achieve your goal. So what are those things, right? So if you want a college scholarship and you want to score 50 goals and have 105 points, you got to do these 5 things. Okay, well, what are Curtis Fraser's 5 things? Because Warner, your 5 things would be different than my 5 things. So I have my own. Right. So my 5 things was I wanted 7 shots. Yep. 7 shots. If I could get 7 shots, I bet you one of them go in the net. And there's 60 games in a season. So that's 60 goals. Now I got close, but not quite, but we'll take 53, right? So I wanted 7 shots. So I shot that puck like it was going out of style. Now, someone who's a passer, that might not be one of their things. But I was never a passer. I was a shooter. Yep. Second thing was fight to be F1. So if you're fighting to be F1 on the forecheck, you're into the game, right? Like you're into it, right? If you're fighting to be F2 or F3 sitting back, you're not really into it, right? 3 was back check and hunt. So I would hunt on the back check. I still wanted to have that grit in my game where if I was back checking and I was waiting for someone to cut the middle, and I wouldn't have the puck and I'd be coming back saying, are you going to cut? Because if you're going to cut into this middle, I'm going to take you out, right? And I would have that kind of mindset, right? When I don't have the puck, I'm hunting. And when I do, I'm just playing a game, right? Number three was be a good teammate, right? So supporting other people around me, whether it's a pass or whether it's, high fives or whatever it was, being a leader, like that was going to help the people around me be better. It's going to make me better. And then we're all going to be better. And if we're all better, that helps me, right? And the 5th thing, I don't remember what it was now, but I was on a tangent there, so I apologize. But everyone has their 5 things. And if you focus on those 5 things that make you great, you'll get the results that you want, right? It's like trusting the process, not the result.
Setting goals and expectations and as much as most of the time, realistic goals.
Yeah.
It's funny too, now that we're similar, also like saying the 50 goal thing, but goal scorers mentality, same kind of thing. I don't know who I got it from, but the 7-shot thing they've said to me as well. And it's probably based on percentages, whoever said that. But
Yeah.
like you said, I mean, percentage wise, if you want to score goals, you gotta shoot the puck, and whether the goalie makes a save, you just keep moving on. That's their job to do, and just to continue on with it. I think, is there other mentors that can play a part in goal scoring or in your junior college success, based on some of these pieces of advice that they've given you, not only, I guess, to play at that level, but what was coming?
Yeah. You know what? Like, I think what I say there's having a goal scoring mindset, I think Saul Miller really helped me. I wanted a scholarship, so he kind of helped me tailor a plan of 5 things that would get me that scholarship. So it would take the pressure off of me thinking about it could be anything, being drafted to the Western League, getting an NCAA scholarship, being drafted in NHL. Like, if you think about those things all the time, it affects your game, right? How to find those 5 things that can make you successful, or make you confident. But the other thing is that I had this, I called it a slump buster, which, 20-year-old year I wasn't ever really in a slump, but you still have it. And if you practice hard enough, and you shoot and you shoot and you shoot and you shoot and you shoot, like, you almost expect, like, it becomes part of you. Like, you've shot so many pucks into that net that when you go into the game, you expect to put it into the net. But if you don't do the practice to do that, you don't actually expect it, right? And by putting in all that work, it starts to change your mind into saying, like, no one has taken more one-timers than me. So on this power play, when I get this one-timer, I will go bar down. And you actually believe it because you've done it so many times in practice. It just happens, right? And it is too. Like, when you're in minor hockey, you don't really get that free ice, but as soon as you get to junior and pro, like, you can go out early, you can stay on after, because in the middle of the day, there's no one there. It's your own arena. It's and I would also too, like, this sounds stupid, but I do it with some of, like, the Western League and junior guys that I have, is that I'll actually have them celebrate after goals.
Yep. I've done
And
that. Done that with the younger kids actually a lot. Is
yeah,
just not only the fun part, right? But you should be getting used to celebrating after scoring, because that should be it's part of the routine of scoring.
yeah. Like, if you want to celebrate in front of 15,000 people, like, expect to, and in practice, if you're celebrating, you do a little fist pump or whatever, you pretend, you're pretending, right? Like, it's the mental part of the game is so important. And just by celebrating can help you and your mind expect that when it strikes 7 tonight and this place is full, I'm going to score and I'm going to put my hands up, and you're, almost training your mind to expect greatness.
Yeah. So going back into what you just said, a couple minutes ago, just how you practice so much and shooting, scoring, expecting to put it in the net. I think a lot of, players that do that work, not only one is you're putting your extra time into it, so you obviously love it and want and have a mission and goal to get it done and do that. But the other thing too is you're holding yourself accountable, and it's only you. Like, your mom or dad can tell you to go practice out there, but if you don't want to, you're not going out there. So when you go do that with your actions, you're showing yourself how committed you are to getting to do what you want to do, and whatever your goal is to push towards that. So that's, I think, a big part of it is the accountability. It's like, okay, well, I just practiced that so much that it's going to probably happen for me in a game or whenever you want to apply it to and execute it. I think that's
No, for